from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at the ChannelEye Rupavahini Corporation. We're ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I am Charita Minipurarachi.
And I'm Sharon Mascarenhas. First, it's a look at the day's headlines.
Electricity tariff up to 30 units have been reduced by 23%. The fixed charge is reduced by 150 rupees. Parliament approves the renewal of Janaka Ratnayaka. There is a risk of dengue banners spreading at epidemic level. The Attorney General informs the Supreme Court that an investigation is carried out on the statement of Pastor Jerome. Severe environmental problem persists in the Castle Rave Reservoir area. About 100 persons are hospitalized monthly due to damages to the vertebral column and spinal cord. 20% of them becomes fully or partially disabled. People in Belgorod area in Russia fled the area following a Ukraine attack.
And now for those and other stories in detail. Minister Kanchana Vijayasekara says that the electricity charges up to 30 units will be reduced by 23% at the tariff revision in July.
In addition, the fixed charge of 400 rupees will be reduced up to 250 rupees. The electricity bill is scheduled to be reduced to other categories, religious places, hotels and several other sectors. Minister Kanchana Vijayasekara said that up to the first 30 units, the 30 rupee per unit charge will be reduced up to 25 rupees. In addition, the 400 rupee fixed charge will be reduced to 250 rupees. Then the total reduction is between 23 to 29%. The 31 to 60 unit category will be reduced by 9%. The bill for religious places will also have a reduction. Over 15,640 temples will be entitled to this benefit. Overall, there will be 23% decrease of the electricity bill at the tariff revision to be held in July.
The Parliament approves the proposal to remove Janaka Ratnayaka from the chairmanship and membership of the Public Utilities Commission. 123 parliamentarians voted for the relevant proposal today, while 77 voted against. The debate on this proposal was held in Parliament today. It was initiated by Minister Kanchana Vijayasekara.
Minister Kanchana Vijayasekara said that he has seen few members of Parliament and the accused person is expressing various ideas regarding the accusations in media. He said that the first two accusations were made based on decision made by the Court of Appeal. He also said that Janaka Ratnayaka and the opposition members are trying to accuse the government by saying that they are trying to attack independent commissions, but he added that the decision of the court itself stated that the accused person has worked against the independence of the commission. He further added that there are 5 members in the commission and decisions should be taken by the majority consent. He also said that the most media earlier has stated personal decisions made alone as decisions of the commission, which are not. He further added that they are not trying to make the independent commissions inactive, but they are trying to create a ground to appoint members who are suitable for an independent commission. He also stated that no committee meeting has conducted since 15th February this year, as 3 members as informed in written they have not worked anymore under the chairman due to his arbitrary decisions. He also added that 2 members have already resigned. Minister further said that they now know about who made the file to fire charge the Chief Justice Shirani Bandaranaike and how the chairman took his companies. He further said that now they are trying to equalize Shirani Bandaranaike and Janaka Ratnayaka.
මම ඔහුගේ අනිත් ක්‍රියාකලාපයන් පිළිබඳව කතා කරන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. ඔහුගේ ක්‍රියාකලාපයන් පිළිබඳව කතා කරන්න ගත්තොත් ඔහුගේ සමාගම් ලබාගත්තේ කොහොමද? ශිරාණි බණ්ඩාරනායක අගවිනිසුරුතුමිය එළවා දැමීමේ ව්‍යාපෘතියේදී ප්‍රධාන ෆයිල් එක හදලා ලබා දුන්නේ කවුද? මේවා ගැන ඕනතරම් තොරතුරු දිනව සාකච්ඡා කරන්න. දැන් අද සමාන කරන්න හදනවා ශිරාණි බණ්ඩාරනායක ජනක රත්නායක. සමාන කරන්න හදනවා. පුදුම වැඩක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. ශිරාණි බණ්ඩාරනායක එළවන්න ෆයිල් එක හදපු පුද්ගලයා දැන් ස්වාධීන කමිෂන් සභාවේ සභාපතිවරයා හැටියට එළවන්න හදනවා කියලා වෙන මතයක් හදන්න හදනවා.
Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa expressed that now they are calling him a non-independent chairman, as if like they appointed them. He added that they are trying to fire the chairman of the Public Utilities Commission based on that charge sheet. He stressed on why the chairman is to be fired, saying that the commission chaired by him has decided to reduce the future electricity tariff by 27%, while the government is trying to reduce it by only 3%.
Parliamentarian Nimal Lanka said that it's a shame on the opposition leader for standing up for such a thief. He said that they know the chairman took 25% for himself for the 50% which has to be gone to MBSL in Golden Key incident. He further said that he delayed the IMF relief fund and it had made the treasury lose around 30 billion rupees. He further said that he is not an independent chairman, as he had been the chairman in MBSL during the Mahinda Rajapaksa's government in ADB, and he has secured the chairman post by giving officers to Gotabaya Rajapaksa. He further added that the chairman is saying to reduce the electricity tariff without going through the cost reports made by the engineers of the Ceylon Electricity Board.
Parliamentarian Dayasiri Jayasekara said that they only care about the program implemented by him and not his other matters. He also stated that the members of the commission has been removed by force and is trying to abolish the Council of Commissioners too.
Parliamentarian Nimal Lanka then expressed that they are only removing the person but not the commission.
Parliamentarian Kumara Velgama said that he decided not to vote for the chairman after the statement he made by saying people are asking him to stay as the chairperson.
Parliamentarian Vimal Veeravansha questioned that there aren't any other chairmen with flaws even if they accepted all those accusations against this chairman. He also questioned on why measures are not taken to fire other chairmen and why only choosing this chairman. Consultant physician Dr. Ananda Vijay Vikrama says that there is a risk of spreading dengue manners into epidemic level. It is reported that the number of dengue cases during the past 2 months has recorded significant increase. During the past period so far this year, over 36,000 dengue cases have been reported island-wide. Out of this amount, majority of patients are from Gampaha and Colombo districts. Consultant physician Dr. Ananda Vijay Vikrama says that the number of patients has increased in other areas as well. Consultant physician Dr. Ananda Vijay Vikrama said that disease risk will further heighten in the upcoming monsoonal rain period. Therefore, there is a possibility of spreading this disease up to epidemic level. All relevant factions should get together and take collective actions to overcome this situation. If a person has fever, what should he do? Consultant physician Dr. Ananda Vijay Vikrama said that it is important to take painkillers except paracetamol for fever. If other type of painkillers are taken, there is a risk of having serious after effects. The problem can be further increased during the upcoming rainy season. Governor of the Western Province, Marshal of the Air Force Roshan Gunatilaka says that relevant officials have been advised to implement the rules and regulations sternly to control the spread of dengue manners in the Western Province.
A person was killed by a shooting at Habaruduwa area in Galle today. Habaruduwa ICE said, the incident occurred near the Polduwa temple in Ginigala Pilana Road at about 7:25 this morning. The incident occurred while the deceased and his wife had dropped their child to a school in Galle town and coming back to his hometown in a three-wheeler. The gunman had followed the three-wheeler on a motorcycle and shot at the couple about 9 bullets using 9mm pistol. The victim, who rode the three-wheeler, was hospitalized and succumbed to his injuries. His wife is receiving treatment in the hospital. The killers have fled the area with their motorcycle. According to the police, the deceased was a suspect of the double murder in Habaruduwa area in 2013 and another killing by shooting at the Unavatana area in 2021. The police say that the investigations are being carried out to verify whether the killing is related to the earlier incidents.
Parliamentarian Ali Ibrahim, who was taken into custody by Sri Lanka Customs under the charge of illegally bringing gold slabs and a stock of smartphones, has been released, imposing a fine. The stock of illegal items was confiscated. Parliamentarian Ali Sabri Rahim has illegally brought about 3.5 kilograms of gold slabs, which is amounting to market cost of 74 million rupees. The Parliamentarian had brought 91 smartphones at a cost of 4.2 million rupees. Accordingly, the customs has imposed a fine of 7.5 million rupees on the Parliamentarian and released him. The customs sources reported that the Parliamentarian paid the fine and left the customs this morning.
The Attorney General informed the Supreme Court today that the investigation has already been initiated into the controversial statement made by Pastor Jerome Fernando by the CID. Additional Solicitor General Priyantha Navana informed this on behalf of the Attorney General when a fundamental rights petition was summoned today against the Pastor Jerome Fernando. The petition has been filed by Venerable L. Gunavanshathera, the Venerable Bengamuye Nalakathera, Reverend Father Nishan Kure, Al-Haj Hassan Mohammed, Ramachandra Sharma Kurukal and several others. The petition was summoned today at the panel of judges Preeti Padman Surasena and Arjuna Besekara. Appearing for the petitioners, President's Counsel Sanjeeva Jayawardena pointed out that Pastor Jerome Fernando's statement has created a religious and communal hatred within the society. He added that the statement has defamatory sentiments against the Buddhist, Hindu and Islam faith. The Security Council meeting has also focused attention on this statement. The President's Council pointed out that although the President and the Ministry of Public Defence have focused attention to this matter, no proper investigation has been conducted. Additional Solicitor General Priyantha Navana then informed the courts that a number of complaints have been made against the pastor at present. A travel ban has also been imposed on him. The panel of Supreme Court judges ordered to resummon the petition on the 28th of July and report the progress of the investigation to the courts.
Damages caused to natural environment has rapidly increased due to human activities. Castle Reservoir has also faced a risk of environmental pollution as disposal of solid waste including plastic bottles at the Castle surrounding area is increasing. Castle Reservoir provides water for generation and hydropower. However, people in the surrounding area have used to dump garbage in the catchment areas of the reservoir. Many solid waste flows into Castle and Mayusakala Reservoir from the highlands of Sripada Sacred Area. Visitors during the Sripada pilgrimage season dispose empty plastic bottles and wrappers and sachet packets to the water to the streams. Removing solid waste is a part of the Castle Reservoir was conducted today with the support of employees of the Ceylon Electricity Board, members of security forces and hotel owners of the area. Secretary to the Ministry of Environment, Dr. Anil Jayasinghe said that this problem can be solved once for all if each person stops dropping plastic waste into the environment. Cleaning the environment from time to time is not a lasting solution for this issue. A sustainable solution should be arranged for this issue with the support of the general public. Floating plastic bottles and other solid waste throughout the reservoir has become a problem to the freshwater fishing industry. Security officers of the Castle Reservoir says that residents living close to the Kesalgamu and Hatton rivers have not heeded the call not to dump garbage to water flows. Stay tuned for more local stories after this break.
வெளிநாட்டிலிருந்து பணத்தை மக்கள் வங்கிக்கு அனுப்பி வாராந்தம் 1 லட்சம் ரூபாய், மாதாந்தம் 1 மில்லியன் ரூபாய், ஆண்டிறுதியில் மாபெரும் சீட்டெழுப்பில் 1 கோடி ரூபாயினை வெல்லுங்கள். பீப்பிள்ஸ் ரெமிட்டன்ஸ் கோடி அதிர்ஷ்டம். நேரடியாக அனுப்புங்கள், பெரும் வெற்றி காணுங்கள்.
Welcome back with more local stories. Doctors say that nearly 100 patients are monthly admitted to hospitals due to damages caused to the spinal cord and the vertebral column. The major cause for these damages is accidents. At an awareness program held in the Health Promotion Bureau, the doctors said that the 20% of the patients with damages to the spinal cord becomes fully or partially disabled. Attention was also focused at the awareness program on dispatching a patient with damages to the spinal cord and the vertebral column safely to a hospital. Doctors pointed out that many people who volunteered to carry such patients to hospitals have no proper knowledge in transporting them. Doctors say that in such a case, the patient should be taken to a hospital within 30 minutes. The best position is to take the patient lying on a flat surface. Ambulance is the best vehicle to take such patients to the hospitals. Consultant physician of the Colombo National Hospital, Kirti Abevera, says that people must be aware of how much a patient is taken to hospital safely. And meanwhile, Sri Lanka Navy has supported an operation to save a Chinese fishing vessel at a deep sea belonging to the Australian waters southward to Sri Lanka. Reservoir, surveillance ship of Sri Lanka Navy, joined the rescue mission under the guidance of Navy Commander Vice Admiral Priyantha Pereira. Sri Lanka Navy is bound to support such operations as the country has ratified the international conventions in this connection. Navies of many other countries have also joined this operation. The Sri Lanka Navy Vijaybahu surveillance ship reached the affected Chinese fishing vessel and deployed a team of divers to discover employees and dead bodies of the victims. The Sri Lankan Marines have conducted very difficult diving operations for over 3 days and discovered 2 dead bodies from the captain's chambers and 1 from another place. Bodies have been handed over to the Chinese Salvation vessel. It has been identified that there are 12 dead bodies within the top-sea tow vessel. The Sri Lankan Navy said that the mission was successfully completed today and a detailed report was handed over to the Chinese divers. Minister Bantula Gunawardena says if the fare of school season ticket is not increased, school buses cannot be functioned.
Expressing his views in the Parliament today, the Minister said that if the fare for school children are increased to a certain extent, the school transport services can be further enhanced. Minister Bantula Gunawardena said that there are 2 options in this problem. We can add more buses for school transport if the fares are increased to make the service profitable, or else running buses at a loss will lead to decline the school services. The government has to bear 2/3 of the cost and the parents of the children will have to bear the rest of the expenses.
And meanwhile, former Parliamentarian P. Harrison says that he will definitely work from the victory of Ranil Wickremesinghe at an upcoming presidential election. He revealed these facts at a media briefing held in Anuradhapura in response to an accusation made by SJB Parliamentarian Tissa Attanayake. Former Parliamentarian P. Harrison said that Tissa Attanayake has accused him of crossing over the UNP expecting benefits and portfolios. He further said that, however, it was Tissa Attanayake who left the UNP in the past. He added that he would extend his fullest support to Ranil Wickremesinghe in future elections. A large number of Pradesh Sabha members and Provincial Council members will also support Ranil Wickremesinghe. All the parties should support for the victory of Ranil Wickremesinghe.
Here's more local news in brief. 47 graduates in the Northwestern Province were given teaching appointments today under the patronage of Governor Lakshmanyapa Abeyewardena. The graduates were appointed as Grade 2 teachers in the teaching service. The Ministry of Agriculture has decided to suspend improperly dispose of male chicks from the state poultry farms. And we take a look at foreign news now, starting with Russia. The US has distanced itself from an incursion into Russia, which Moscow says ended in the defeat of armed insurgents who entered from Ukraine. Parts of the border region of Belgorod came under attack on Monday in one of the largest cross-border raids since Russia invaded its neighbor last year. Russia later released pictures of abandoned or damaged Western military vehicles, including US-made Humvees. The US insisted it did not encourage or enable strikes inside of Russia. A State Department spokesman acknowledged reports circulating on social media and elsewhere that US-supplied weapons had been used, but said his country was skeptical at this time of the veracity of these reports. In a news briefing on Tuesday, Matthew Miller added it is up to Ukraine to decide how to conduct this war. Villagers in Belgorod near the border were evacuated after coming under fire. Russia says 70 attackers were killed and has insisted the firefighters were Ukrainian. While Kyiv denies the involvement, and two Russian paramilitary groups opposed to Russian President Vladimir Putin to say that they were behind the incursion.
And meanwhile, France has banned domestic short-haul flights where train alternatives exist in a bid to cut carbon emissions. The law came into force 2 years after lawmakers had voted to end routes where the same journey could be made by train in under 2.5 hours. The ban all out but rules out air travel between Paris and cities including Nantes, Lyon and Bordeaux, while connecting flights are unaffected. Critics have described the latest measures as symbolic bans, and Laurent Donsel, interim head of industry groups Airlines for Europe (F4E), told the AFP news agency that banning these trips will only have minimal effects on CO2 outputs. He added that government should instead support real and significant solutions to the issue. Airlines around the world have been severely hit by a coronavirus pandemic, with websites Flightcred reporting the number of flights last year down for almost 42% from 2019.
India and Australia have announced a migration deal as they aim to strengthen their economic cooperation. The announcement came after Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi met his counterpart Anthony Albanese in Sydney today. The deal aims to promote the two-way mobility of students, graduates, academic researchers and business people. They also discussed regional security amid rising tensions in the region. India and Australia are part of the 4-member Squad group, which also includes Japan and the US. A scheduled meeting of the group in Sydney was cancelled last week after US President Joe Biden had to return to Washington for debt ceiling talks. Modi, however, continued his planned visit to Sydney after attending the G7 summit in Japan and travelling to Papua New Guinea. This is Modi's first visit to Australia since 2014 and comes 2 months after Mr. Albanese visited India in March. Negotiations for the migration agreement have been going on for a couple of years. Australia already has a significant number of people who have migrated from India, as census data shows that of more than 1 million people who moved to Australia since 2016, almost a quarter were from India. According to a statement, the finalised migration agreement will also be led to the creation of a new scheme called MATES, which has been specifically created for India.
A new study has found that New York City is sinking under the collective weight of all its buildings. The gradual process could spell trouble for a city around which sea level has been rising more than twice as fast as the global rate, and it is projected to rise between 8 inches and 30 inches by 2050. Scientists expect more frequent and extreme rainfall events such as hurricanes due to the human-fueled climate crisis. The paper published in the journal Earth Future aims to show how high-rise buildings in coastal, riverfront or lakefront areas could contribute to future flood risk, and that measures should be taken to mitigate the potentially hazardous impacts. The researchers calculated the mass of the 1,084,954 buildings that existed across the 5 boroughs of New York City at the time, reaching the conclusion that they weigh about 762 billion kilograms, equivalent to roughly 1.9 million fully loaded Boeing 747-400.
Brazil has declared a state of animal health emergency for 180 days in response to its first ever detection of a H5N1 avian influenza virus in wild birds. Brazil is the world's biggest chicken meat exporter, with $9.7 billion in sales in 2022, has so far confirmed 8 cases of the H5N1 in wild birds, including 7 in Espírito Santo state and 1 in Rio de Janeiro state. The Agriculture Ministry said that it had created an emergency operations center to coordinate, plan and evaluate national actions related to avian influenza. H5N1 infection in wild birds does not trigger trade bans based on guidelines of the World Organization for Animal Health. However, a case of a bird flu on a farm usually results in the entire flock being killed and can trigger the trade restrictions from importing countries. The United States Secret Service said that it had detained the driver of a rented box truck that crashed into the security barriers near the White House on Monday night, perhaps intentionally, but that there were no injuries or ongoing danger. Foreign media reports that the investigators found a Nazi swastika flag that apparently came from inside the truck, which crashes into barriers at Lafayette Square, adjacent to the White House grounds. Officers retrieved the flag and plastic evidence bags that had been laid out on the sidewalk following the crash and placed them in the back of the U-Haul. Anthony, Chief of the Communications for the Secret Service, said on Twitter that a preliminary investigation reveals the driver may have intentionally struck the security barriers at Lafayette Square, United States. Park Police would file charges with investigative support from the Secret Service.
Prima, cut to me, Fantamai!
Welcome back with the sports update. And cricket. Afghanistan cricket team arrived in the island to a 3-day ODI match series.
The series will begin on the 2nd of June at the Suryavarma International Cricket Stadium in Hambantota. Prior to the series, the Afghan team will participate in one-week training workshop. Hashmatullah Shahidi leads the Afghanistan cricket team. Afghan players Rashid Khan and Noor Ahmed, who are now playing at the IPL in India, will also be joined as the Afghanistan team after the IPL. Chennai Super Kings are through to their 10th Indian Premier League final. They beat defending champions Gujarat Titans by 15 runs, with the latter being all out for 157, chasing a target of 173. Chennai Super Kings opener Ruturaj Gaikwad got a big let-off early on when he was caught at mid-wicket in the second over and the delivery was declared a no-ball. He capitalized on the lifeline, scoring 60 off 44 deliveries. Chennai Super Kings opening pair stayed unbeaten in the first 10 overs, but then clawed their way back. It was some lusty blows from some of the players, and all that was put by Chennai Super Kings for 172 for the loss of 7 wickets. In response, though, Gujarat Titans hardly got any momentum at any stage of their chase. All their big guns fell without making much of a dent, while the biggest of them all, Shubman Gill, was kept silent by the Gujarat Titan bowlers. He ended up falling for 42 for 38 balls. It looked like Gujarat Titans' race was run when ace finisher Rahul fell, but Rashid Khan came in and smashed 30 off 16 balls to give his side a glimmer of hope. It was too much for him to do in the end, though, and CSK booked a spot in the final.